Hello students, today we are going to start the new chapter of subject operation research. Today we will start Introduction to Linear Programming prepared by Assistant Professor Sumit Singh Sikarwar, Mechanical Engineering Department, Sri Swaminarayan Institute of Technology, Bhat, Gandhinagar. In our today's video, we will cover the following topics. We will begin with Introduction to linear programming. Then we'll study the objectives of this unit. We'll see the meaning of linear programming. We'll also understand the properties of linear programming. We'll see the fields where a linear programming can be used. We'll also see the components of a linear programming. Then after, we will see the general form of a linear programming model, which will understand the assumptions or conditions to be which must be fulfilled for a linear programming model. We'll see the mathematical formulation of a linear programming problem with general formulation and matrix formulation. We try to derive and or understand the forms of a linear programming model. Then after we'll see the case studies or examples, and finally we will end up the session with advantages and limitations of linear programming. So let us begin with introduction to linear programming. A linear programming is a mathematical model. It is a model which is used to achieve the best outcome whose requirements are represented by a linear relationships. Basically, the linear programming is a technique for the optimization of linear objective function. Alfred Marshall, a British economist, in this connection points out that the businessman always studies his production function and input prices, and he substitutes one input for another till his cost become the minimum possible. That means the main goal is to achieve the minimum cost and have the maximum profit. This sort of substitution, in the opinion of Marshall, is done by businessman's trained mind rather than with the formal calculations. However, now there exists a method of formal calculations, often termed as linear programming. This method was first formulated by a Russian mathematician L.V. Kantrovich, but it was developed later in 1947 by American mathematical scientist George B. Dantzig for the purpose of scheduling the complicated procurement activities of United States Air Force. Now, today, this method is being used in solving a wide range of practical business problems with the use of electronic computers. It has further increased its applications to solve many other problems in industries. So it is being considered as one of the most versatile management techniques. Now let us see the objectives of this unit. So after going through this unit, you will be able to understand the meaning and formulation of a linear programming. We will discuss the components of a linear programming problem, and we will describe the general form of a linear programming model. Now let us understand the meaning of a linear programming. A linear programming is a major innovation since World War II in the field of business decision making. Linear means the relationships that are represented by a straight line. That is the relation which is represented by y is equal to a plus bx, which forms a straight line, right? Now the word programming means taking decision systematically. Thus, linear programming is a decision making technique under given constraint on the assumptions. Again, the programming means sorry under given constraint on the assumptions that relationship among the variables representing the different phenomena happen to be linear. That means एक स्ट्रेट लाइन के फॉर्म में होना चाहिए, ठीक है? जितने भी रिलेशन होंगे वो लीनियर रिलेशन होंगे, so that we are able to achieve a linear relationship between the models. LP is generally used in solving maximization. You can say that sales or profit maximization or minimization, where we need to minimize the cost problems subject to certain assumptions. Putting in a formal way, you can say that a linear programming is the maximization technique designed to assist the organization in optimally allocating its available resources under conditions of certainty in the problem of scheduling, product mix, transportation, assignments, and so on. Now let us understand the properties of a linear programming. So any linear programming model must have the following properties. Our first property is the relationship between the variables and constraints must be linear. That means it must present a straight line. The model must have an objective function, which means either we need to minimize or maximize. Again, the model must have structural constraints. So here the structural constraints are those constraints which we are utilizing the uh, uh, to solve the linear programming model by putting the different values by iteration method or by graphical method. But we are getting few answers with these structural constraints. The fourth property is the model must be non-negativity constraint. That means the value which have been selected, they must be uh, greater than or equals to 0. Now let us understand the fields where linear programming can be used. So the problem for which a linear programming provides a solution may be stated as maximize or minimize for some dependent variable, which is a function of several independent variables. So due to which the applications of a linear programming are numerous and increasing every day. Linear programming is extensively used in solving resource allocation problems, production planning and scheduling, transportation, sales and advertising, financial planning, portfolio analysis, corporate planning, and so on. These are the some of its most fertile applications. More specifically, linear programming has been successfully applied in the following fields. First field is agriculture. So linear programming can be applied in the farm management problems as It relates to the allocation of resources such as acreage, labor, water supply, and working capital in such a way that is maximizes the net revenues. Our next application is contract awards. Evaluation of tenders by resource to LP resources, the LP guarantees that the awards are made in the cheapest way. मतलब बहुत सस्ते में हम सब कुछ अचीव कर लेते हैं. Our third is industries. So the application of LP in the business and industries are the most diverse type. Transportation problems concerning with cost maximization minimization can be solved by this technique. This technique can also be adopted in solving problems of production, or we can say that a product mix and inventory control. Thus, LP is the most widely used technique of decision making in business and industry in modern times in various fields. Now let us understand the components of a linear programming. So, a linear programming has basically 6 components. First component is linearity. Now the term linearity implies a straight line or proportional relationship among the relevant variables. Linearity in economic theory is known as constant returns, which means that if the amount of input doubles, the corresponding output and the profit also doubled. Linearity assumption thus implies that two machines and two workers can produce twice as much as one machine and one worker, and same will be applicable to four machines and four workers, twice as much as two machines and two workers, and so on. Our next component is process and its labels. Now process means the combination of a particular input to produce a particular output. In a process, factors of productions are used in fixed ratios depending upon the technology, and as such no substitution is possible with a process. Now there may be many processes open to a firm for producing a commodity, and one process can be substituted for another. There is thus no interference of one process with another when two or more processes are used simultaneously. If a product can be produced in two different ways, then there are two different processes or activities for the purpose of a linear programming. Our next component is criteria function. It is also known as objective function, which states that whether the determinants of the quantity should be maximized or minimized. For example, revenue or profit is such a function when it is to be maximized, or cost is a function when the problem is to minimize it. An objective function should include all the possible activities with the revenues or profit. The goal may be either to maximize this function or to minimize the function. In symbolic form, it is denoted by zx or simply capital Z. Denote the value of the objective function x at a level of activities included in it. Our next component is constraints or inequalities. So constraints are the limitations under which one has to plan and decide. So these are the restrictions imposed upon the decision variables. For example, let us understand one example. A certain machine requires one worker to operate. Another machine requires at least four workers. That means greater than four, right? And there are at most 20 machine hours required. That means our available hours is less than 20. We cannot increase beyond it, right? So any constraint are represented by x is greater than constraint, x is less than constraint, or s must be equals to constraint. Our next component is feasible solution. Now feasible solutions are those possible solutions which can be worked upon under given constraints. The reason comprising all the feasible solution is referred as feasible region. And the last component is optimum solution. Now optimum solution is the best of among all the feasible solutions. So these are the components which we need to understand or we must keep in our mind so that we can develop a model. Now let us move on to the general form of a linear programming. As we know that linear programming represents the relation between the variables linearly. In linear programming, they can be mathematically stated as follows. First, we need to choose a quantities xj greater than 0, where j is equals to 1, 2, 3 up to n. This is also known as non-negativity conditions, and in simple term means that the value of x cannot be negative. It can either be 0 or greater than 0. Next is objective function, where we need to maximize or minimize, which may be represented by sigma cj xj. Next is the constraint. So the constraint is given by sigma I equals to 1 to n aij. That means these are the constraints which must fulfill. So that these constraints must be must be in terms of equation. So putting in this equation, we must have the feasible solutions. Now this represents a simple solution structure of a linear programming model. Now let us move on to assumptions or constraints of a linear programming. A linear programming model is based on the following assumptions. First assumption is proportionality. So it is assumed in the objective function and the constraint inequalities. In economic technology, this means that there are constant returns to scale. That is, if 1 unit of product contributes 5 rupees towards a profit, then the 2 units will contribute 10 rupees, right? And 4 units 20 rupees, and so on. So that means the sum of ratio is always proportional to. So as much as we are applying input, you are just getting the output. Next is certainty. Certainty means the prior knowledge of all the coefficient in the objective functions, the coefficient of the constraints and the resources values. Now LP model operates only under conditions of certainty. That means it must be certain. Next is additivity, which means that the total of all the additive activities is given by the sum of each activity conducted separately. Or you can say that the sum of total is equals to sum of individual activities. For example, the total profit in the objective function is equal to sum of the profit contributed by each of the product separately. Next assumption is continuity. Continuity means, or this assumption means, that the decision variables are continuous functions. So according to combinations of output with fraction values, in case of product mix, problems are possible and obtained frequently. Next is finite choices. That means you have limited resources and you need to utilize it, right? So this assumption implies that finite number of choices are available to a decision maker, and the decision variable do not assume negative values. Our next thing is mathematical formulation of a linear programming problem. So the procedure of mathematical formulation of linear programming consists of the following steps. In step 1, first we need to identify the decision variables and which we have been to noticed. The next objective is to have the objective functions to be optimized. Either you need to maximize or minimize as a linear function of decision variables. Next step is the other conditions of a problem, such as resource limitation, market constraints, interrelations between variables, and other, are formulated as linear inequalities only, or in terms of equations, or in terms of decision variables. Our next step is the non-negativity constraint from the consideration is added so that negative value of decision variables do not have any physical interpretation. मतलब हमें ऐसा कुछ सिलेक्ट करना है जो हमेशा पॉजिटिव ही रहे, राइट? हमें नेगेटिव बियॉन्ड नहीं जाना है, अपनी सोच और समझ को सिर्फ पॉजिटिवली लेना है. दो ही चीज मिनिमाइज और मैक्सिमाइज करना है, लेकिन हमें बियॉन्ड लिमिट क्रॉस करके नहीं जाना है. So the objective function, the set of constraints, and the non-negative constraint together form a linear programming problem. So these three things forms a linear programming problem. We must have an objective function which is written in terms of capital Z, right? Another, we must have a set of constraints which are written in the form of some equations, and in those equations whatever the variables are used are non-negative. Let us see the general formulation of a linear programming problem. The general formulation can be stated as follows. In order to find the values of n decision variables, say x1, x2 up to xn, to maximize or minimize the objective function. So the objective function can be written as z equals to c1x plus c2x plus c3x3 plus so on cn xn. And the structural constraints are written as A11 x1 plus A12 x2 plus A1n xn, where the inequality sign either less than equals to or greater than equals to b1. मतलब कि आप ऐसा समझ लो कि एक इक्वेशन लिखा अपन ने, हम लोगों ने लिखा है 2x1 plus 3x2 which must be greater than equals to 5. So these are our constraints, structural constraint, which we need to remember. And finally, non-negative constraints, which must be greater than or equals to 0. So here you can say that x1 is greater than or equals to 0, x2 is greater than or equals to 0. That means they're not negatively identified. मतलब किसी भी चीज को नेगेटिव नहीं लेना हमें, ये जो वेरिएबल्स लिए हमने उसको हमेशा पॉजिटिव ही रखना है. Now let us see the matrix formulation of a linear programming problem. So the linear programming problem in the matrix form can be expressed as follow. First, we need to identify the objective function. So z is equal to cx, which is our objective function. Next, it is subjected to, so the subjected constraints, or you can say that in the form of a constant equation. Next, non-negative restrictions. So from these equations, we can have a form of matrix like this. Next topic is case studies. In case studies, we will see the two examples for which we will prepare a linear programming model. Our first problem is a manufacturer produces two types of models, M1 and M2. Each model of type M1 requires 4 hours of grinding and 2 hours for polishing, whereas each model of type M2 requires 2 hours of grinding and 5 hours of polishing. The manufacturers have 2 grinders and 3 polishers. Each grinder works 40 hours a week and each polisher works for 60 hours a week. The profit on M1 model is 3 rupees while on M2 model is 4 rupees. Wherever is produced in a week is sold in the market. How should the manufacturer allocate his production capacity of the two types of models so that he may make the maximum profit in a week? So let us solve it. Here the decision variables are x1 and x2, which are the number of units produced by M1 and M2 machine. Our objective function is such that, so what is our objective function? We have to maximize so that from x1 type we will have 3 rupees profit and from x2 type we will have 4 rupees profit. So the equation becomes maximize z equals to 3x1 plus 4x2. Now the constraints. So we have two options, one for grinding and the other is for polishing. From equation, from problem we can understand that the number of hours available on each grinder for 1 week is 40 hours and there are two grinders. Hence, the manufacturer does not have more than 2 into 40, that means 80 hours for grinding. So M1 requires 4x1 plus 2x2, which must be less than equals to 80 hours. Now, since for polishing machines, there are 3 polishers available, and on each polishers, consider grinding as a polisher. On each polisher, 60 hours are available. So multiply 3 into 60, will have 180 maximum hours which are available on polishers. So the equation becomes 2x1 plus 5x2, which must be less than equals to 180. Thus we have maximize z equals to 3x1 plus 4x2 for 3 rupees and 4 rupees profit, and which subjects to two equations. For grinder, 4x1 plus 2x2 must be less than equals to 80, and 2x1 plus 5x2 must be less than equals to 180. Again, we have non-negativity constraint where x1 and x2 must be greater than equals to 0. So it becomes, this equation becomes the problem of maximization, and it is how we can make a model. Let us take another example. A firm produces two different types of products, product M and product N. The firm uses the same machinery for manufacturing both types of products. Now 1 unit of product M requires 10 minutes, while 1 unit of N requires 2 minutes. The maximum hours the machine can function optimally for a week is 35 hours. The raw material requirement for a product M is 1 kg, while for product N is 0.5 kg. Also, the market constraint on the product M is 600 kg. That means we cannot have more than 600 kg, while that of product N is 800 kg per units per week. The cost of manufacturing product M is 5 rupees, and it is sold at 8%, and for N is 6 rupees per unit and sold at 8 per unit. Calculate the total number of units of product M and product N that should be produced per week so that we can have maximum profit. So let us prepare a model for it. First, we need to identify the decision variables. So let us consider x1 and x2 be the number of products on machine A and B. Now the cost of production of A per unit is 5 rupees and it is sold at 10 rupees. So the profit is 10 minus 5, which is equals to 5 rupees. Again, for profit, for B is equal to 8 minus 6, which is 2 rupees. Now x1 unit of product M contributes a profit of 5x, and x2 unit of product B contributes 2 rupees, that means 2x2. So our function is, objective function becomes we need to maximize z equals to 5x1 plus 2x2. Now the constraints of it, so we have time constraints. We have 10 minutes and 2 minutes for product M1, and again 30 for 35 hours maximum. So the equation becomes 10x1 plus 2x2, which must be less than equals to 2x2, 2100. And for raw material constraint, it's given by x1 plus 0.5 x2, which must be less than equals to 600. Now the market demand of product B is 800 units per every week. So x2 is greater than equals to 600. So the complete LPP model is given by, we need to maximize z is equal to 5x1 plus 2x2, which subjects to 10x1 plus 2x2 less than equals to 2100, and x1 plus 0.5 x2 less than equals to 600, and also x2 is greater than equals to 600. And non-negativity constraints are x1 and x2 must be greater than equals to 0. Now let us move on to the advantages and applications of a linear programming, and we'll see the limitations of a linear programming. So the advantages of a linear programming, we know that linear programming helps to reduce the cost of a production for maximum output. In brief, you can say that linear programming model assists a decision maker so that he can most efficiently and most effectively employ his production factor and limited resources to get the maximum profit at minimum cost. The only limitations are linear programming can be applied only when the objective function, all restraints can be expressed in terms of linear equation. That means we cannot obtain in quadratic equation. So if the availability is available in proportional or in the linear form, then we can apply this model. Again, linear programming technique provides solution only when all the elements related to a problem can be quantified. So that means we must have all the details or all the values for all the variables which we are going to include in our linear programming technique. Linear programming technique may give a fractional valued answer which is not described in some problems. That means for some problem where we need to have without any decimal or fractional values, we cannot apply this method, which is a special case. Thank you for watching video. We will see, sorry, our last thing is that the students needs to self-assess themselves. These are the few questions which student has to identify and write it on paper. Thank you for watching video. We'll bring the next video in which we will discuss the graphical analysis of a linear programming. Thank you.